Toledo Live is brought to you by the generous donors of WLMB-TV 40. We are grateful for every gift that helps support this show's ministry.
Today is Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. I'm Dr. Jamie Schmitz, the president and CEO of WLMB-TV 40. And of course, I'm joined by my co-host for these past 25 years, our Senior Vice President of Programming, Virginia Bohnsack.
Jamie, it's a great day, beautiful day outside, and it is going to be a beautiful day in here because we have Jennifer Bohnsack, who is the expansion coordinator of Isaiah117. She's in here to share with us about some exciting news within the foster care system here in, in the area.
That's right. So if you're saying, what is Isaiah117? You're
going to find out today.
That's right. All on Toledo Live.
And now, join us for Toledo Live.
All right, well, before we talk to Jennifer, we have some Bible Q&A for today.
All right. So our Bible question for the day is, what do we mean when we say that God is immutable?
Immutable. That is a big word here,
that's
Jamie.
That's a $10 word. But Virginia, what is the answer?
All right, well, the answer is God does not change. He is always the same. And that comes from James 1:17.
That's right. You know, Virginia, isn't it wonderful that God is always the same? Isn't it nice that he doesn't wake up like, we do and, maybe you have a good day, maybe you don't have a good day, but God is always the same.
That's
and
right.
we can put our faith and trust in him, that he is unchanging. And that is one of the attributes of our wonderful Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So that's some good news. Well, Virginia, I want to let you know that I was talking to my mother-in-law, Sandra von Segren,
okay,
and my father-in-law, Jim von Segren. They are now retired at age 86 in the Florida area.
Okay.
And I was just talking with them because we're going to be talking about, an aspect that usually isn't talked about very often. You'll understand that, viewers, in just a few minutes, about foster care.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the very important parts that is at the very beginning of that. But I was talking with her. She and my father-in-law had 40 foster children.
40.
They were out in Fulton County, Ohio. They started at age 40. They fostered 40 children over the course of 15 years, and they were
saints.
They were kind of one of the places that the Fulton County Foster Care Services, Children's Services went to when they needed to place children. And so
that's amazing.
because Rachel was my sweetheart,
mm-hmm,
I got to see a lot of these foster care children. And some of them would come in, she was telling me just this morning that some of them would come in and they'd be there like one day, overnight,
mm-hmm.
Some of them stayed with them for over a year.
Wow.
And I got to know a good number of those foster children. One of the gentlemen that came, I'm going to change his name, but I'm going to call him John for this episode.
Okay.
But when he came to them, he was 5 years old and he weighed 20 pounds, 20 pounds. And today he is a fine young man, loves the Lord and is gainfully employed. But that transition family for them, he was with them for over a year. Until he was finally adopted. And so foster care plays a very important role, in taking care of so many children today.
Absolutely, the impact that they would have had.
That's kind of their story. And so my life has been impacted by the foster care program. And just wanted to share that with you today, Virginia.
Well, very, very nice. Well, Jamie, do we have some update with the station news?
Oh, that's exactly right. Hey, we want to let people know about our share-a-thon and where we ended up with that. So our share-a-thon total right now is at $188,956. And our overall goal, as you know, was $300,000. So right now our percentage that we're sitting at of our overall goal is at 62.99%.
Okay.
But I do have some good news. Over the course of the last few days, we do have some matching money available, but we had $2,611 come in.
All right.
So when we add that to the tote board, the nice thing is we're going to see that double because of the matching money. So it's like adding a little over $5,000 to the tote board. So now we're saying $192,228, inching our way up to that $300,000 goal. And as a percentage, you can see that we have now inched up into the 64s.
Praise
so
the
that
Lord.
is great.
There we go.
So we'll keep asking people to support our share-a-thon. It's so important that we're able to raise the balance of the amount needed. Do we have the amount left to raise over there, Cameron? So just want to give people, yes. So yes, $107,772 is the amount we have to raise in order to keep WLMB going strong. We want to thank everybody, though, that gave to Channel 5 to 35 Switch Project. Matter of fact, we have a little update on that as well, Virginia. So I think we're going to run through a lot of the slides that we ran through. But our Channel 5 to 35 Switch Project is really, in summary, it's moving from Channel 5 to 35, which will give us the best broadcast area of any Toledo broadcaster, moving us from 2.3 million people that can watch over the air to 2,480,014 people. And I just talked to Juan Garcia this morning, and he was letting me know that they're beginning the work next week on the anchors that hold the guidelines in place of our 600-foot tower in Jasper, Michigan. So that looks like that's going to be kicking off next week. He said he was actually going out there today to kind of eye the project up and also test the land, because we've got a little bit of, he doesn't want to mess up our grass is what he said. But they're going to be adding some significant equipment to the guy anchors to be able to hold up the tower, and our new $300,000 antenna, and also the beautiful Rhodium Schwartz antenna that is being manufactured right now. We are expecting to sign on this new broadcast signal in the month of September.
All right,
so
well,
very
wonderful.
Very excited about all that.
All right, so if you gave during the spring share-a-thon or would like to, give and help us, continue to move forward, then please, visit our website at WLMB.com or ToledoLive.tv as well. Well, Jamie, Jennifer Bohnsack is sitting on the sidelines waiting to get in on the game.
I can't wait to have her on set.
Okay.
It's going to be an exciting interview, I can tell you that.
That's right.
She's talking about some exciting stuff. I love it.
All right, well, take a look at this video that kind of helps set up the interview. Well, that is Isaiah117. We have Jennifer Bohnsack here. She's the expansion coordinator here to fill us in on what's happening with this project.
Yes, Jennifer, welcome to Toledo Live. Tell us, how would you summarize Isaiah117 for our viewers?
Isaiah117 is a home for children to go to on removal day. On the day that is probably one of the hardest days in their life, they typically right now go down to Lucas County Children's Services offices and they wait.
So these are people that are going to enter the foster care system.
They are.
But there is that calendar day where they're actually removed.
That day of removal,
It's
yes.
not really a term you hear very often, but day of removal, so removal day. And what are a lot of these children experiencing on removal day?
They're scared, tired, hungry. They miss mama, they miss daddy. They have no clue what's going on. They have a lack of control to what's happening in their own life. And yeah, they're scared, they're tired, they're hungry, they're dirty. They just need to be cleaned up, loved on, taken care of in this gap while we're waiting to find a foster home for them.
So tell us a little bit about Isaiah117. Where does the name come from? How did it get started?
So of course it's a verse in the Bible. Isaiah117. But it's also Isaiah is one of the first foster kids that came into Rhonda and Corey's home when they became foster parents. Rhonda and Corey are the founders of Isaiah117. They are a nonprofit out of Elizabethton, Tennessee. So Isaiah was the first foster child that came into their home. When they took their foster care classes, it was brought to their attention that when kids are coming into care right now, if a home cannot be identified and they are required to stay overnight in an office building, they are asking kids to sleep on floors. They're asking kids to sleep on floors or chairs being put together. And when they did their foster care training that year, they found out that the night before, in the same building or the same room that they were in that day, that kids had slept on the floor the night before. And it just plagued her. She didn't like the idea that we were removing kids and then we were sending the wrong message by asking them to sleep on floors.
Yeah, they've already experienced the trauma.
So much trauma in a day, and then we're going to ask them to sleep on a floor. We're sending the wrong message. So they prayed, and they considered what they could do and what they could offer, and they came up with the idea of an Isaiah117 house, a home where kids can go to, where they can be loved on by a team of volunteers, where we can greet them by name, where we can bake cookies with them and play with them, where we have an upstairs room that's all full of giving items for clothes, school supplies, cuddly blankets, toys, whatever they'll need, hygiene products.
You know, when I talked to my mother-in-law this morning, she said a lot of the kids would come literally with a garbage bag with some clothes haphazardly thrown into the garbage bag, and that was all they had on the day that they were moved from what they knew as a home with their mom or their dad or the guardian that was over them, that you know, they really wasn't healthy for them to be there anymore.
No.
But
yeah. It's what they know as home.
But a garbage bag.
And a garbage bag. And honestly, the kids that come with garbage bags, they're probably the lucky ones, because most of them come with absolutely nothing. Yep, they have come. We had a little girl that came to our home years back that she had two left shoes on both of her feet. And one was a boot and one was a slipper. And but that's what she came with. Her clothes were too small. They were dirty, worn out. But yeah, and it's just that interim, you know. I guess I almost equate it with how when we have to go into a government building, it doesn't make us overly feel comfortable. Yeah, I mean,
that's where I'm going to sleep tonight.
For whatever reason it is. And then you're asking these kids to come in without the people that they're most comfortable with, their moms or dads. So now here they are entering a building with all these strangers wearing badges. They're walking by securities. They're being wanded. And then, like I said, and then they're hanging. They're just waiting, and they're standing there wondering what's next, having no clue what's next.
And you think about all the kids over, you know, years and years that have been brought in, and this has been their experience.
Yep.
And you just think about these kids because they're voiceless.
They're voiceless,
and so
exactly.
now, you know, you can be their voice, you know, the organization, when that transition happens. You know, it chokes me up thinking about, you know, talking about kids coming with nothing and stuff like that. So, you know, I know that you are a foster mom and an adoptive mom, and so that's where a lot of this passion comes from.
It does.
Maybe share a little bit about your story.
So a little bit about my husband and I, we've been fostering for 12 years. I'm probably going to get choked up now. But we've been fostering for 12 years, and we've had 35 kids come through our door. And kind of like what you were saying earlier, some kids, I think the shortest stay we had was about 3 weeks, and the longest stay we've had several sibling groups that have stayed more than a year or two.
Wow.
I think 18 months is the longest that they've stayed, unless they've stayed forever, because we do have some of those. But as a foster parent, we took all these kids in, and they've come and they've gone and they've come and gone. And we've even had the privilege of keeping in touch with so many of them. So we still have so many of them that reach out to us and ask, how are you doing? And we get to see, you know, we get to see that they're thriving. We get to see that they're doing okay. So that's a great part about it. In recent years, our home has gotten full. We have 8 kids now. 2 of them are kind of off and doing their own thing, one in college and one is a nurse down in Cincinnati. We have 6 kids living in our home currently. 2 are foster. We just adopted one on May 15th. And then we have 2 older boys, and we have another little girl that we adopted about 5 years ago. So our home is kind of full.
And you've had 35 kids.
Oh yeah, we've had 35 kids.
Come through your home.
And that's kind of where I was going with this, is that my husband is kind of exhausted, and he's been ready to tap out for a while.
which I know your husband, Brian.
Yeah.
Right? And And you guys are just saints. Like hearing this, like that is just
And that's
amazing.
a very kind thing for you to say that we're saints. We're certainly not saints, and that's the great thing about fostering is that anybody can do it. If you have a little bit of room in your house and some room in your heart, anybody can do it. I am not a saint for doing this, and I appreciate you saying that. That's very kind of you. But these kids, they just want to be loved. They just want to be loved on, and have some fun, you know. And there's so many of these kids that come into our homes that. They've had to grow up too fast. They've had to grow up taking care of their younger siblings. They've had to grow up kind of fetching themselves their own food, you know, taking care of themselves, I guess is what I'm saying. And it's been a joy and a privilege to be able to spend time letting them be kids, taking them on vacations, letting them have some experiences that maybe otherwise they wouldn't have. But I'm gonna go back a little bit, but that's kind of how I got involved in Isaiah 117, is that Brian and I were kind of at a pass where I wasn't feeling like God's work was done. I knew that there was more that he was asking me to do. And Brian, like I said, he was ready to tap out. And we were kind of at this impasse because it's like, I'm not done fostering. Well, I am done fostering. And I'm going to share with you that right now in Lucas County, there's over 1,000 kids in care, and there's only 160 identified foster homes in Lucas County.
Wow.
So mathematically, that's one of the biggest reasons why I knew I wasn't done. I knew we had more work to do. We need people that are willing to step up with a little bit of space in their heart.
So
and
if there's 1,000, that means 1,000 removal days.
1,000, yeah.
And that means 1,000 visits to a government block mason brick with neon lights overhead, with people with badges and wands.
So you get the idea, exactly.
Yeah.
Gray,
But
dingy
could
carpet,
you contrast
walls. And
that to what they experience when they go into an Isaiah 117 house?
Yep, we can use the expression, what if there was a home? If there was a home, then we would be able to, those caseworkers could call us up and say, you know what, we've got 4 kids coming into care. Their names are this, this, and this, and this. And when they get there, we can greet them by name. And when we know that they're coming, we can put some cookies in the oven and make sure that the house smells like fresh baked cookies. We can take them up to our giving room and we can let them go shopping and let their hearts run wild as far as picking out new clothes, things that they maybe have been wanting for quite some time. New shoes, clothes, backpacks, school supplies, hygiene products, and then the extras. We went to a ribbon cutting in Indiana, and they had fun things like sunglasses and bracelets and necklaces for the girls and some ball caps for the boys, but just extra stuff. But yeah, the difference was that we can get them cleaned up. We can de-lice them. We can play with them. We can hug on them and love on them. And we can also let them be alone, because again, this is a scary time. That letting them know that we are there, but giving them their space to kind of work through what's going on in their life.
Now there is a removal day. Sometimes do they stay in the Isaiah 117 home
They do.
for more than a calendar day? I mean, what is that? How long does it take usually to get a placement with a foster family in the area? Right.
So again, 1,000 kids in care, 160 homes. Sometimes it takes more time, especially when you have sibling groups. If you have a sibling group of anything more than one, the idea is to hopefully keep these siblings together and not, again, induce more trauma by separating them and putting them in separate homes. So with an Isaiah 117 house, it also allows a caseworker to spend a little bit of extra time trying to identify a home that would be a good fit where maybe all those kids could stay together with each other.
So I think you said earlier there's 56 of these Isaiah 117 homes in the United States.
There are currently 58.
58?
Yes. Yep.
And you are spearheading to build one in Toledo, Lucas County, serve Lucas County. How much money is that going to take? Where do you want to locate it? I think you also just had a kickoff event that
we
you wanted to
did.
tell
So we
us
just had our
about.
kickoff event on April 28th at the summit here in Toledo. From here, we're going to kind of spend the next 6 months raising awareness, getting in front of churches, organizations, faith-based groups, anybody who would like to hear about Isaiah 117. I need to get into churches. Again, I'm raising an army of God's people. God's people are in the pews of our churches. So I really would like to get in front of some of these congregations and share with them the mission of Isaiah 117 and hopefully get our community all involved.
So then how can people get involved? And we talked about, foster care and how there's all these kids that need a place to go.
Absolutely.
But maybe somebody doesn't have that space or they're
Right.
just not ready for that.
Yep, and this is a great way to get involved without taking on the long-term commitment of being a foster parent. Absolutely. Yes, you can get involved. Can I go ahead and share with me?
Yes.
Isaiah117 has a Facebook page, Isaiah117. Lucas, COOH, is a great way to reach me. There's all the information on Isaiah117 Facebook page as to upcoming events, what we're doing, how you can raise awareness, get in touch with me to get in front of your churches, organizations, that kind of thing. As far as raising money, we need $275,000 is our magic number, $275,000.
To build the house, but you're also looking for donors of land.
Donors of land. Yeah, so historically, many of the other Isaiah117 houses have had churches reach out to them and say, you know what, we have a little of extra land where we could, maybe, break it off and donate it to your Isaiah117 home to be built.
So you'll be working in collaboration with the Lucas County Family Services Division.
Yes.
How has their receptivity been to you as you've talked about, starting an Isaiah117 house to help people?
Huge.
Hugely happy?
Yeah, it's hugely happy. They have, from the minute that this was shared with them, they have just, the director, Randy Muth from Children's Services, his wife is also a caseworker in another county. And so he, in so many different directions, sees firsthand what Removal Day looks like in the shortage of foster homes in most counties. So when he heard about this idea, he was just so excited, and he has truly championed Isaiah117 bringing a home here to Lucas County for our kids.
Well, we will be praying for God's fruition of having an Isaiah117 home in order to serve these children that so desperately need a home, instead of a government building to go to on their removal day.
Well, Jennifer, thank you so much, for sharing the mission of Isaiah117 and spearheading this to bring it to Lucas County, because it is very much needed. And
it is.
So God bless you, and Brian, for all the work that you've been doing with these children and the impact that you're making, on your, in your home and the greater community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with us.
All right. Well, go ahead, take a look at this. We have a movie coming up this weekend you don't want to miss.
Why did you go to the war?
Sometimes the good people have to stand up against the bad people. And you go off and fight for what you believe in.
No matter what, rescue, death, I wasn't alone.
I never knew that you were at Da Nang.
Well, it's not that I didn't want to tell you. It's just,
She told you, Judy?
Well, yes, but that's just because.
That's because you're his favorite.
I remember hearing a fellow once say that of all the soldiers that go into combat, the ones with the toughest job are the nurses.
Well, every war has its heroes.
They certainly do, and I'm dancing with one.
It's my father's flag. I feel like it's the only connection I have to my dad left. Please don't tell me that you are so thick that you don't understand that.
Didn't you say that the one thing that helped you during your time in Iraq was your faith?
Yes.
Then let's have faith.
All right, well, Jamie, that's an excellent movie. Don't want to miss it. We do have some prayer and feedback that has come in from our viewers, and so I will go ahead and share that right now. And if you would like to submit your prayer and feedback, you can. We'll give you that information at the end here.
Well, Lonnie from Fremont, Ohio says, your station helps me get things back in line in the times we face in our world today. You provide people with truth.
Well, ain't that the truth? All right, and then Stuart from Delta, Ohio says, I've suffered with depression for a huge part of my life. We continue to be blessed by all the programming on WLMB. God has seen me through all those trials. He just continues to show his unfailing love.
And we also have Patricia from Bowling Green, Ohio. She writes, your station has helped me focus on just watching TV, focus on not just watching TV, excuse me, but being aware of the presence of God and filling my life with things that build my faith. Thank you, Patricia.
And Susan from Perrysburg asked for prayer. So please join us in prayer for Susan and the others today. So she says, pray for my nephew, baby Archer, as he was born early and has been having health problems. Pray for the Lord to strengthen his lungs and bring him healing.
Yes, yes. And then Deborah from Tecumseh, Michigan, her prayer request is, pray for my elderly parents who need salvation. They're both in their 80s.
Yes, we will be praying for them. And so please, if you would like to submit your prayer requests, as we said, go to ToledoLive.tv, and you can also submit feedback and community events as well.
That's exactly right. We'd love to hear from you at ToledoLive.tv. Give us your prayer requests, your feedback, and also let us know about your community events as well. That's ToledoLive.tv. That's how it makes it on the air here at Toledo Live. Well, Virginia, we do have a devotional verse for the day. Earlier we were talking about how God is the same, and also along that same line is the verse from Hebrews 13:8 that reads, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. And it's just wonderful to know that our Lord is not like shifting shadows. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. We can depend on him. Isn't it wonderful that God is consistent with the character of God? God does not lie. God does not steal. God does no evil. God is a holy, holy God, and he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And Hebrews definitely reminds us of that in today's devotional verse.
All right. Well, thank you, Jamie. And we want to also say thank you to Jennifer Bohnsack. And we appreciate her coming in, taking the time to share about Isaiah117. And so we want to encourage you to, be a part of that organization and go to their Facebook page, check out it. And they have some events that are coming up as well. I might mention a lemonade stand. And you can go to their Facebook page to find out more about how you can get involved.
Yes. Now, Memorial Day is coming up on Monday, and we just want to encourage you to go to the Lord and thank the Lord for those that have served in the armed services and have given their life so that we can know freedom in the United States of America. So we hope you have a wonderful Memorial Day this upcoming Monday. God bless you, and thank you for being with us on Toledo Live.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to today's program. Please submit your comments, feedback, and prayer requests at our website, ToledoLive.tv. There, you can also watch previous episodes and find valuable links. Also, be sure to share this program with your family and friends. WLMB would also like to give a special thank you to our generous viewers who continue to make this program possible.